Choosing a faculty speaker for prep graduation is no easy task. This year, I am pleased that Mr. Thomas Comey, chairperson of the Science Department, will deliver the address. In his time at Prep, Mr. Comey has taught science courses at a number of different levels, led a whole-scale review of science education that resulted in substantive changes in course offerings, while at the same time mentoring students in scientific research. He's also served as the moderator of our yearbook, The Petrian. I'm pleased to call forward Mr. Thomas Comey to address our graduates.
Good afternoon, Mr. McGovern, Father Bowler, Mr. D'Angelo, colleagues, parents, guests, and you, the class of 2019. I'm very honored to speak to you today. I'm sure you're all going to be very excited by this, but I have just one last chemistry lesson for you. And yes, there will be a test. As a young child, I like to take things apart and put them back together. Controllers, toys, anything I can get my hands on will become the victim of my curiosity. I wanted to know how things worked. To this day, my parents still tell anyone that will listen about my inquisitive nature as a child, but also never fail to include the box of leftover parts under their bed just in case we found one that we needed. It's really no wonder to them that I fell in love with science at such a young age. In high school, I took chemistry as a sophomore, and from the very first days of class, I was hooked. I knew that from that moment that I wanted to dedicate myself to studying the basic building blocks of the universe, atoms. They come in only 92 naturally occurring varieties that combine in more ways than we can imagine. These combinations make up everything that we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and even the ones that we can't. I look at the world through the lens of how these pieces change, what happens when they change, and ultimately why that change is necessary. Since the creation of the universe, atoms have had one single purpose: to find stability. Naturally, elements will seek other elements to achieve that stability, to find balance. Some of these atoms will give up parts of themselves to fulfill their objective. Some will find other atoms and share their resources and exist collaboratively. Some will find similar atoms and ally themselves together to overcome their weaknesses by lending one another their strength. When these changes occur, they're almost like magic. The rearrangement of atoms produce new substances with properties unlike anything they were before. At times, these changes can occur slowly, a result of a prolonged exposure. Some can occur quickly and violently, an explosion with waves of heat radiating outward. But always at the end, something new, and something very different from where they start. A change that brought them closer to the being whole. Take, for example, sodium and chlorine, individually toxic, but through the exchange of one single electron, produce simple table salt. Hydrogen and oxygen, very explosive together, but when combined, form life-sustaining water. Copper alone is a very soft metal, but alloy it with tin, and the strength of it increases incredibly to yield bronze, a material that helped propel civilizations in the Stone Age. These combinations and reactions are magnificent displays of what happens when substances come together. It is only together can they achieve a purpose greater than themselves. These interactions are absolutely necessary for growth and change of these atoms. They continually seek opportunities to change, to form stable compounds. With each change, they move forward towards their goal, achieving stability, but at the end of every reaction, balance. I'd like to offer that while we are more than a single atom, we're actually 7 times 10 to the 27th atoms to be exact, that our lives and our relationships mirror closely that of the atoms that compose our bodies. From the day we are born, we have a lifelong goal: to hone the gifts and talents that we've been given and become who we are called to be. We seek friendships throughout our lives that will help us grow and continually change into the best versions of ourselves. Over the course of our friendships, we have had to invest in one another to deepen our relationship. We have spent time simply enjoying one another's presence, laughing and joking around. In times of struggle, we have had family and friends be there to lift us up, helping us to overcome whatever is causing our difficulty. Friendships are also like magic. I've always tried to make sense of this very common word, but I still struggle today to actually take that concept apart. Yes, friendship has a definition: a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. But what actually draws us together? What causes that spark that ignites friendship? Well, I don't have that answer. But what I can do is I can appreciate the incredible results of being someone's friend. Friends will challenge one another to be honest, even when it's hard. They help one another to believe themselves, even when we can't. Friends care for one another and make you care for yourself when you've taken on too much. They help us to own our strengths while simultaneously balancing our weaknesses. Some of these friendships have caused changes we can see only after we have time to reflect. Some friendships have caused us grief and maybe ended, but they have always taught us something unlike what we were before. As teachers, we have hoped that you've learned our subject matter and appreciated it. We also hope that the relationships cultivated with us have brought you closer to who you really are. As we've interacted with one another, we have imparted parts of ourselves onto each other, with each one of us having something to learn. Each combination necessary bringing us closer and closer to achieving our lifelong goal of being who we are called to be. I can personally attest to the growth that many of you have brought to me over 4 years. I have learned a lot of patience. I have learned not to judge a student by the reputation they have earned for themselves. I have learned that students truly care for their teachers in the most difficult and dark of times. I have learned to laugh at myself and admit my own mistakes. I have learned that everyone has a story. Everybody needs someone at time, and everyone is lovable. We may not be able to understand it right now, right here in this moment, but we're all better people for having known each other. Just as atoms need one another, so do we. So gentlemen, I hope you've been taking some notes, because here are the test questions. 1, who has been an influence on you over your time at prep? 2, who has helped you believe in yourself when you couldn't? What relationships have challenged you that maybe weren't the best? And who was with you during the best and maybe not so best of times? My challenge for you is to find these people and thank them. Thank them for what they've taught you and thank them for who they are. Don't take them for granted. Remember to keep yourself open to meeting new people. Don't close yourself off. You may never know what these relationships can bring to you and you to them. Be true to yourself. Don't leave parts of your personality hidden away like a box of spare parts if you don't know how they fit in. Embrace your true nature and surround yourself with friends who will push you to living up to your potential. Always remember that relationships take work. I urge you to reach out to one another. Check in on each other. Check in on your friends. Listen intently with both your mind and your heart, and appreciate the people in your life and learn from them. Because remember, it is only together that can we achieve a purpose greater than ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Charlie Rooney was a member of the prep faculty for 38 years who retired in 1985. He was the father of 2 prep graduates in the class of 67 and 69. Mr. Rooney embodied all that made a prep teacher memorable: scholarship, humor, dedication, dependability, and a deep grounding in aviation principles. So it is fitting that we honor his memory with an award to the faculty speaker at graduation. Mr. Tom Comey, we are proud to present you with the Charlie Rooney Award.